Shooters, the largest, most diverse weapon class. Today, I'll be ranking all of them as of version 6.1.0. Also, did you know if you like and subscribe, you automatically go to S tier? Crazy how that works, right? Okay, starting with the low tiers. First up, we have L3 Nuzzle Nose. So a few things that I think that L3 Nuzzle Nose's weaknesses are. Both L3 and H3 are very high skilled weapons too. You need to have, they're not like a weapon you can pick up and then immediately play it. It's not terrible. It has crab tank, which is a plus, but then the curling bomb is just a big no-no. It doesn't really help at all. The only really pro of this weapon is crab tank. Okay, next we got L3 Nozzle Nose D. So with L3 Nozzle Nose D, it has the same problems as vanilla, being the same weapon, just a slightly different kit. The thing is, this one is slightly better because of Burst Bomb, which you can combo off of. Direct hit with L3 does 70 damage. You throw a Burst Bomb, it combos off the direct. So yes, you have a burst combo there. You still need accuracy and skill to do it though. And I think this is still slightly better just because of the burst combo, and it does have, sure it has hammer, but the hammer throw is still pretty good. Next, I want to say is vshot Nova. This weapon has really been underpowered for a long time. Its accuracy is really bad. It has such long range, but with a shooter like it, it has very low hitbox, so it's very hard to hit anything with it. Otherwise, things like Jet and 96 and Forge, or I guess any Nsplash Pro, can land hits with better. And its damage is pretty low. I believe it's like 26 per hit. I don't know, because it doesn't have like an amazing fire rate either. For as low damage and accuracy it has, you can easily get away from them unless you're close up to them. Its kit is not great either with point sensor, and well, it's not terrible, but sensor doesn't work for it very well. It helps with accuracy a bit, and Killer Whale has been getting better recently, but I still don't think it's enough. And Nova just overall pretty big weapon. Next I want to say is Sploosh-O-Matic. This one has always been known to be bad. It has terrible range. This thing's range is so bad. You have to be like a foot away just to land hits on them. But it has very low, I want to say combat power, but it sounds like I'm talking about Pokemon Go. So it's not very good at fighting. How about that? And you only ever use this in turf because it's decent at covering turf as long as you stay away from enemies. And its kit is also pretty bad with Curling Bomb. As I said again with L3, Curling Bomb is not terrible, it just could be a lot better. Nsplash is next. So Nsplash is slightly better than regular Sploosh because at least it can lay down beacons while it's lurking around and launch whales, while this thing has to use hammer, which gives away its position a lot more than whale does. And then everyone blocks you, you can get hit easily by splatlings, chargers, and then all you can really do with hammer is throw. So yeah, both Splooshes are really bad. Next I say is H3 Nozzle Nose D. So H3D is more defensive kit than H3 Vanilla's kit, which is point sensor and tactical, which is more, I don't know, say midline. I do think this requires even higher skill with Splash Wall and Bubbler because it suffers from low mobility and accuracy like L3. It's slightly a better accuracy, but even lower mobility than L3, being, well, L3's L standing for light and H standing for heavy. And at least this one has a one tap. If you're an H3 player, you know how satisfying it is to get a one-shot kill with H3. It's just a I don't know, that's probably not the sound that it makes. Yeah, no. Anyway, next up is Anakinova. Anakinova, I think, is better than regular Nova because of Jet. Jet is an S tier special, and I think that's why this one gets a lot better. but it's still rated S tier because of the same problems as the main weapon, and ink mine doesn't work very well for it. Next, we're moving on to D tier. Okay, first up, H3 Nautilus. I think this one is only in D tier because Cooler is meta right now. And the skill, like, really pays off on this one. It's really hard to learn, but if you've seen good H3 players, then you know what I mean. Okay, next is Aerospray MG. Now, a lot of people think, oh, why is this thing not F tier? Well, I don't think this is an F tier because at least it's Fizzy Bomb, and the slider getting buffed, it can sound slightly better, and obviously slider can cheese zone, which is nice. Plus, this thing can cover a lot of ground from Sheriff. vshot Pro is next. It has Dart/Angle Shooter, which is the worst sub in the game out, we all know. There's not very many more problems except it being very consuming and slow, and it has better accuracy than Nova, but about the same range. C tier! We've made it to the weapons that are actually decent. Everything and up from here is at least playable. First, I say in C tier is Aerospray RG. Now, Aerospray RG, you might think is in D tier. I don't say it's in D tier because it has Booyah Spam. If you've ever faced RGs, which you probably have, is a very common weapon, you know that Booyah Spam is freakishly annoying, especially in Clamblets and Splatoon. That's what I was thinking of. It's really annoying to face against with the Booyah bombs flying everywhere, cutting off access to parts of the map, and sprinklers just being there and annoying. Okay, 96 Gal. I think 96 is just the worst 52. This ink consumption is way too high for what it is. Like, Jet has higher range, yet this has higher ink consumption. I get that this weapon has higher damage. I still feel like that the ink consumption is a little bit too high, especially for it having Sprinkler, which is a costly sub, which doesn't do much either. And ink vac, okay, so this might be ranked higher. I'm not the biggest fan of ink vac. I know it has defensive purposes, but I'm not really sure because with Stamper being very common right now, Stamper can still take it out, Rollers can still take it out, and Rollers, which I'm very happy about, are seeing more and more use. So I'm not sure about ink vac. Next we have Custom Splash Engineer. So this is another one I'm not completely sure about. I've played a little bit with the wave buff, and I don't think it's changed that much, but I might be wrong. I don't know really how much the wave buff is significant. So maybe once we're later into this version, I can figure out if this actually should be rated lower than the regular junior or not. But anyway, Torpedo is nice on it because it helps with extra paint, which it already does very well, and extra chip damage to let it get killed faster. This still has similar problems to Aerospray and Sploosh. It doesn't have very good fighting capability. Even though it has better fighting capability than both of them, it's still not the best it could be. Next is just Vanilla Jr. I think this one's better because it has a bomb and a better special. So the bomb you can use more offensively, so you don't have to actually engage with the fights. You could just chuck a bomb and hope they die. And Bubbler has actually been seeing more play recently. I've been seeing a lot more blasters and juniors and rollers and other things with Bubbler, and people were using it for clamblets and placing it by the basket during pushes, which I feel like is nice. Same with tower control. So yeah, I do think that Bubbler has a lot of potential. It's just a harder skilled weapon. It's better for team plays. B tier. So the first thing I'm putting in B tier is 96 Deco. It works very well with Splash Wall, giving it some extra survivability. And Kraken works well for it because, well, Kraken pushes and clamblets are freakishly annoying, and that's good right now. But it also gives it more offensive side than rather ink vac has on its vanilla kit. Next, Jet Squelcher. Now, Jet Squelcher has a very good main weapon, but its kit is not the best it could be because it has line marker, or dart, or angle shooter, whatever you want to call it. Because ink vac is not great on it either. And I've tested this out the other day. I think Jet Squelcher has the same range as a Splat Charger, which is insane. So, Jet Squelcher has the highest range of any shooter, and it outranges most of the weapons here, which is insane. Like, it outranges Rapid Pro, it outranges Stamper, it outranges GooTuber, which I think is really insane for it being a shooter, which is supposed to be more like the mid, like kind of in between, but I think shooters have gone too far, really. But yeah, Jet insane range. Next I'm putting Forge. I might be going a bit hard on both vshot pros because I don't feel like they really fit in either the short range shooters or the long range shooters, because they don't really have enough range to fit in with 96 and Jet Squelcher, but they don't think they really fit in with the regular splash shots either. Weird main weapon in my opinion that doesn't really need to exist. Suction on Forge is pretty good because it has a bomb that has a lot of killing power, and Booyah Bomb is, well, it's Booyah Bomb, it's a pretty good special. Nsplash. Now, Nsplash might need to be rated higher than this, maybe A tier, but I don't think it needs to. Splash is insane main weapon as it is, but this one does not have Burst Bomb or Crab Dig, which helps it out a lot. This one having a Suction Bomb helps it, but not as good as it should be. Triple Ink Strike is also pretty good on this, especially for splat zones and clan blitz. And I think this might be slightly better than regular splash and zones. It really depends. I think it might be just as good. It just depends if you want to use Triple Ink Strike or Crab Tank, because both are pretty good at covering the zone. Now we've made it to the high tier weapons, A tier. Everything up here I consider a good weapon. Custom Jet Squelcher. I think Custom Jet Squelcher is just the better, more offensive Jet Squelcher from the vanilla one. Before the Inkstorm buff, I do think this would have been back in B, but since the Inkstorm buff allowed him to heal better, and this being, I talked about its range before being a backline weapon, you can chuck the Inkstorm and help heal other people while still shooting and doing damage to the opponents. So I do think it's nice that this got the Inkstorm buff. And then Toxic Mist. Okay, so there's a lot of weapons that have Toxic Mist that kind of just roll with it, but is it really that good? I don't think so. They could use a better sub, but I do think they deserve this, being if having like any other thing, like if we give Jet Squelcher Splash Wall, this thing would be insane. We are not giving it Splash Wall. Tentatek, you may say it should be higher. I think it still should be here because I think the rest of the things are better. But it's nice to have a Splat Bomb other than a Suction Bomb on this, because Suction Bombs, you know, stay for a while. It more like force people out of the area, and Splat Bombs, like, move now or else you're blowing up. Tri-Strike is pretty good on it. It's decent. I don't think it's like too overpowered like Trazuka is on the vanilla kit, but it can cheese zone, it can help with clamless pushes, and just overall this is a pretty balanced and easy to use weapon. Next we have Enzap 89. So I do think what's keeping this weapon from S tier is that Super Chump needs buff. It still can't really combo well with Super Chump, and I think that Super Chump's damage should be buffed, but that's another topic. Auto Bomb is annoying, like really annoying. So you can annoy people, I guess that's something. And just the Enzap main is pretty good. Now next is Foil Squeezer. Now before the mid-season patch, I would say Foil Squeezer is S tier. Well, no, because I think the nerfs to this weapon are pretty significant, increasing their ink cost and decreasing amount of shots it shoots. I think that's just enough to send this thing down to A tier. Autobomb, again with Autobomb, it's annoying. Screen doesn't really do anything, because it's hard to land shots, you can't shoot through it. And point sensor is a counter to screen, so you have to worry about that. Now moving on to S tier. First up we have Squeezer. Now this would not be the bottom S tier before patch, again like I said, but the nerfs did hurt it a lot, even though I still think it's cracked. Wall helps it way too much. Same aim that helps 52. Still broke it, even though it got the nerfs. And then there's Zuko. Zuka is too powerful, I think. It's just like way too powerful, especially being on a weapon that already has a good main. So I do not think this needs Zuka, even though whatever I got at Zuka wasn't that good. But still, it's Zuka. What are you supposed to do? Now, Splatter Shot is Splatter Shot. It's vshot. It's reliable, easy to use, it has Zuka, and it has Suction Bomb. There's not really much to say about this. It's a good weapon. Next, the last S tier weapon is Nsap 85. So, Nsap, it's not bad. There's nothing about it. It just gets outclassed by Pencil, which completely fills in the support role. The 200 points nerf from the last patch is pretty significant if you think about it. Because I can't paint as well as Pencil, can't keep up with Pencil, I can't get coolers as fast. It still plays support very well though. And it has Suction Bomb, which is nice to keep people out of the area, keep away for you when you're trying to cover turf, and you don't really want to fight. Moving on to X tier first, I think, is 52 Gal. So, why am I saying that 52 is worse than Splash? So, it might be just me, but as a former Splash player, but I do think that Splash is slightly still better. I might be a little biased here, but Splash is just faster. It's like everything you would want for an offensive shooter. Well, this thing is slightly harder to use in Splash. It's pretty vulnerable when it's using Whale because you want to aim it correctly. Splash Ball still helps it a lot though. Like you could hide behind there and do that, but close up, I've found that 52 can easily fall. It's range that really helps this thing. Wow, in my opinion, the best weapon, the best shooter is Splash-O-Matic. This thing can thrive in any scenario. It has Burst Bob, and it has Crab Tank. It might not be as powerful as it was back in Crab meta, but it's still really, really good, and I think it's the best shooter. It's an easy offensive Crab Tank option, which Crab Tank, you know, is still really good special. It's been used a lot. It has Burst Bomb, which helps combo and kill quicker, plus gives it some extra paint and mobility. And it has insane kill speed and damage. It can kill in like half a second. So, there we have it. All the shooters ranked. So, you might not agree with everything, but yeah, that's it. Also, the reason why I haven't been posting in a while, well, I haven't posted in like a week and a half, but maybe 2 weeks by the time this goes up. But Nickelodeon and I are cooking up Cursed Craft. This will be releasing maybe 2 weeks, and it's going to be just on his channel. Make sure to check my community tab for future updates. Yeah, bye! That was weird.